Hi everyone and welcome. It's Lillian here and I'm welcoming you to another Monday evening of crafting time where we're going to together unlock some paper crafting fun. So I'm so glad you're here joining me and I really hope that you are enjoying a wonderful summer. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Alberta, Canada, and I welcome people here from all over the world. So whether you're from near or far away, take a moment, say hi, and join us as we do some crafting together. So as I go down to my desk, I always like to leave you with a question. So tonight, the question I'm going to leave you with is, what is one of your favorite water activities? Because in the summertime, we think of going to the beach or the lake, or maybe there's a creek nearby, or a picnic, or a river, that kind of thing. Our daughter and son-in-law and family were camping alongside the Red Deer River this week, and it just was so nice to go for a walk along the river. So what is one of your favorite water activities? So leave that comment in the comments below as I go down to my desktop. So we're just going to go down right here. And one of my, although I love to swim, I love the water, I would have to say walking alongside the water is one of my favorite activities, or it could be floating in the water or whatever. Water for me is very therapeutic and I absolutely love it. So let us know what one of your favorite water activities is, and I'll just get things set up here. Make sure that we're live and going and all of that fun thing. So even if you're watching the replay after this Facebook Live is over, we would love it if you'd still jot down, just leave us a message as to what one of your favorite water activities is, and we will love seeing that. So tonight, just before I start with my project, I just wanted to share something with you. Is there a stamp set in the mini catalog that is sort of calling out to you, but you're sort of on the fence with it? Do I get it? Do I not? And if there is, could you just let us know what one it is? This one here keeps calling out to me. I haven't got it yet. It's called All Bundled Up. And I think what gets me with this one are the eyes of this moose. It just kind of melts my heart every time I see it. And I wanted to share something. You know, the famous hippo dies, they have all kinds of things in them, including glasses. And so what I've done is I've taken the glasses and gone through my catalogs, but look what they do on this moose. They fit perfectly. So I could make a very intelligent moose here, right? Or they also fit on the rabbit and they fit on the raccoon. So here's another little hint. If you have dies that you think are, maybe you want to know if you could use them more on something else, take them and go through your catalogs and try them out. So guess what else would fit? The swimming goggles would fit, right? So that's just something to think about. Another way of using your catalog and making sure you multiply the uses by combining some of your products that you have. So I'm seeing all kinds of things that people like to go for walks and watch ducks and dive and all kinds of things. That's super. I love all of that too. Now, when you say dive, Catherine, do you mean like scuba diving, or do you mean like diving off a diving board? I'm curious about that. And while we're just doing that, what we're going to concentrate on tonight is an item from Sale-A-Bration that almost gets lost, and it's this right here. It's called the Silver and Gold 6x6 Designer Series paper, and because it's white with metallic on it, in all these colors, my eyes often go here, and I miss this, diving off a diving board. Way to go, Catherine. I used to do that. I haven't done it for a long time. So this paper to me has been overlooked a little bit. I've shown you how I've made that, and I will re-mention that again. But I want to concentrate on this paper here, the silver and gold. It is one of the products that is free with a $60 order. And what you get is you get 24 sheets, 12 each of 2 designs. And that might be just a tiny bit misleading because you get 12 polka dots, but 6 of them are gold, 6 of them are silver, and you get 12 with these just sort of freehand drawn lines. 6 of them are gold and 6 of them are silver. And we're going to use this paper tonight. Now, before I start with tonight's project, I just wanted to show you. Now, if I put a tree here, doesn't that start to look like snow? So just another way of using that paper. It could make a great snowy background. Just wanted to mention that. So let's move on here and see what it is what we're going to make. I've got some papers in the way here. Let's bring in the supplies. Now, I suggested that you gather your supplies ahead of time. And hopefully you did, but if not, I think you're going to want to make this regardless afterwards. So I've got my envelope, and we're going to put that to the side. And the card base is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 and 7. So if you, whatever you use to do your scoring with, if you put the long side in and you score it at 4 1/4 and at 7, just like that. All right, so we'll tuck that out of the way. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to fold the card in half, so at the 4 1/4, and we'll burnish that fold. And then we're going to fold this back. So it is a type of Z card, a Z fold, but it's a little bit different. So when you've got it folded, it's looking just like that, right? So a Z with a short front on it. So we've got that. Then we also have a piece of basic white that's 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, and that's going to go in here. It's for the liner. So we'll just put that aside for a minute. And then we have a piece of designer paper that is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. Now, this was cut from the 6 by 6 piece. So we have this piece left over here. So I'll just separate it, and this piece here. So just a little hint, this works beautifully to go on the envelope flap and to decorate the envelope flap. So there's that. And then I'm going to show you a use for this or part of that. So you can use on this card the whole 6 by 6 piece if you so desire. So we've got this, it's 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. I'm just going to bring in my paper trimmer here. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut 1 inch off of the right-hand side. And that's important, the right-hand side, all right? So we'll put this in here. And with our paper trimmer, there's a 1 inch mark here as well. So I'm just going to slide it over there, and then I won't get mixed up, and cut that off. And then, depending on your designer paper, this likely won't matter so much, but I would keep them in order. So it was 3 3/4 by 5 1/4, and you cut 1 inch off of the right-hand side. So let's bring that back in here. Put that there and remove that. Now what we're going to do is we are going to fasten this piece, the bigger piece, to here, and we're going to center it. So we're going to leave an equal border on the top and the bottom and the side. So obviously we don't want to put adhesive here. We only want it to be here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run some adhesive down here, like that. And then I'm going to put the other adhesive, not going right to the top, leaving a bit of a border here. then I know that it's not going to hang over the edge. So let's go like that. So I'll make sure I've got the adhesive on here and not going here. Trust me, I've done that. And because I'm using the multi-purpose liquid glue, I can wiggle it around, but I think I got it pretty good there. So now we've got it looking like that. And then you can see there's the border here. So it's framed very nicely. So it's just looking like a card front. Then we're going to take this other piece and we're going to put it right here. So just to the left of the fold, and we're going to leave a little bit of border there because we want it to look like that. So when this card is open, we're going to see the whole piece of paper, but when it's closed, this piece is going to be hidden. So here's the fold. I find it easier sometimes to turn it on its side and go like that. Now you can see why, if you had especially some designs, that's why I wanted to keep everything lined up. Now we have the basic card. How easy is that, right? So we're just going to now decorate it and create a card front or a focal point. So you can decide what you want to do. And I meant to do one of these things beforehand. Now you might say, this looks a little plain. It's okay, but it looks a little plain. All right, if that's the case, and I should bring in some paper here so you can see a little better. I love these little mats of grid paper here. So I'm going to bring this in. Now, one of the things I could do is I could bring in some gold paper, 1/2 by 5.5, and just tuck it underneath. And that already dresses it up a little bit, doesn't it? I also, if I wanted, I could, I'm going to put that to the side, I could emboss this, or I could take a stamp and stamp it in the same color. So this is Blackberry Bliss, and I'm bringing in Blackberry Bliss. So if you're wanting to make it more interesting, you could bring in a stamp set, bring in color that matches your cardstock, and then just stamp on it. So I think I will stamp all over with this design right here. It's just to add interest. It's not to be anything in particular. So it's just forming a background. So let me bring in, now with photopolymer stamps, it's always best to let them be relaxed on a paper and pick them up with your block, and then the shape doesn't get distorted. So I'm going to ink that up, and we'll put one going off there. Not too worried about this area here because it's going to be hidden, but I quite enjoy this process, so I will do that. And as you know, I like to turn my paper and just keep going, and I don't worry too much about placement. And then I look at it and see if I like it. So see what that does, how it adds interest. So let's close this up. Now to me, it's looking just a little richer, but I still think this will finish it off. So I'm going to add that. Now I often find when I am working with foil that I prefer to use seal, just because a liquid glue and foil, I'm not neat enough and I get it where I shouldn't, and it just tends to make a mess, and I have not found a way to get liquid glue off of foil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run seal down the inside edge here, just like that. Now I went over the edge, so I'm just going to bring my finger and curl it back so it's not hanging over the edge. Then I'm going to put my foil down and bring my sticky edge to it, just like that. And it looks like it's just a smidge longer, so I'll take my scissors. Sometimes when you're cutting, it just sort of depends where on that marker you have it. There, now we've got it looking like that. So now I could put anything on here that I wanted, and I am going to show you some other options when I'm finished. But tonight I chose to use a circle shape from the famous Stylish Shapes. So this is the very largest circle. I started that I was going to use the white, and that's why I have it out, but then I changed my mind and went with vellum. And the other thing that I did was I brought in the Floral Gallery dies, and in those dies, so this is these coordinate with that stamp that I just used, but they work great on their own. There is Just Want to Say, and I die cut it out. Now, when you are die cutting something like this, remember that the dot above the J, remember to get that. If you lose it, what do? You just put a little embellishment there, right? So let me just show you a little tip. I'm going to bring that white circle back in that I did because my words were going to overhang the edges. I did not use an adhesive sheet. So what I did was I brought the, what do you call this? The negative? Anyway, what was left after I cut out the words, and I put it on the circle, and you might have to look on the other side or hold it up to the light. But once I had it placed where I wanted, I took my glue and I put dots where the words were going to go, just like that. Then I took my words and popped them in. So leaving this down while I did it, you could even tape it down if you wanted. And then I lifted it up and I ended up with this. So Just Want to Say. So it was that easy. So now what I'm going to do is take this, and I want to put it on dimensionals and put it on here. Now my problem is, right, that this is vellum and I can't just slap dimensionals down any old place. And this is fairly skinny writing. So what I'm doing is I took my mini dimensionals and I cut my minis in half, and there's my take your pick tool. I am just going to plunk some of these down where the gold foil is, so where the letters are. And I'm not going to worry about the edges because they're going to overhang likely anyway. So just so that they have some stability. And let's see, where else? Maybe there. And maybe over there. And maybe one more. I could get carried away, but that's likely good. And then we're just going to peel those backings off. That's always fun when they're just so little. But we'll take your pick tool, and I bring it in at an angle and use it just to pick off the backings here. Just like that. Some of you are liking that tip about gluing the words down. Yes, I mean, I love our adhesive sheets, but when they're going to overhang the edge and you don't want that part sticky, I could do one of two things. I could have used my embossing buddy on the part overhanging, or I could have done it that way. So I chose to do it that way. So let's just see. We can go like that. Now, ooh, before I stick that down, which it's going to look lovely, but what about if, and I meant to experiment with this before I took the backings off, what about if we just put a little bit of ribbon interest behind it? Ooh, yeah, that would look nice. Needs to be a little bigger, I think. This is how I design cards. I play around, and then eventually I just go, that will do. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that there. So to make it easier, I'm putting some seal down to stick it down in. And then I want it to kind of fluff out a little bit, so I can play with it. With seal, you can always pick it up, move it, all that kind of thing. I'm going to put this some more here. There, bring in my ribbon scissors. These scissors don't cut anything but ribbon. I keep them specifically for that. I'm so glad this ribbon came back in the new mini catalog. We had it last year. And let's see. Yeah, oh, I think that just sets it off. There we go. Like that. And then, let me see if I got it straight. I think so. Then we can add some embellishments. Now, we have the brushed metallic, which has the gold there. We have iridescent rhinestones. And we have, oh, have you seen these? I don't think we'll use them tonight, but I just love these. These are the adhesive backed sequins and gems. And they're iridescent. What are the others? Coastal Cabana and Fresh Freesia. So these are like, oh, gems. So they're like maybe earrings or something like that, right? And these are sequins, and they are just so pretty. So they would add a bit of color there, but I think I'll save those for another project. And these pick up, the iridescent rhinestones pick up any color, and those would look nice, but I kind of think I'm going to go with the brushed metallic adhesive backed. Whoops, there we go. There, so let's see. One here. I always have to sing as I apply, right? Sorry about that. And there. And yeah, we'll put one more. Now these embellishments, they come in 3 colors. As you can see, I've used quite a few of those, but these are the 3 colors they come in. So a brushed metallic, copper, and gold. So they're pretty handy to have. So there we have that part there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the insert for the inside. Now, because this works just like a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece, you're pretty safe in here, but I did make it a little smaller just so I wouldn't have to worry. So this is going to get glued in here. Now, this is where you can use this. You can add it here. You can add it underneath and have it peeking out. You've got room. You can cut off a piece, or you can have it coming across the bottom or peeking out the bottom. So you can use this on the inside. So I'm just going to put a bit of adhesive here just to hold this in place so that you can see the finished card, just like that. And I will play with that later, but I wanted you to be aware of that. And then we're going to finish off the envelope. So we're going to add this. Now, I like to slide a silicone mat underneath, because the moisture from here, it can actually activate this if you're not careful. So I use it sparingly on that area, and I also let it dry before I put a card in or tuck it inside my card or something like that. So now all we're doing is putting it down, and then we'll open it up and trim it. I know most of you have done this before, but some of you haven't. So it's a quick way to coordinate your envelope, and there is just enough paper when you're making this card to be able to do that. Let's see that I got it a little crooked at the top. I'll trim that up later. But look at that, that's how much was left. So that's what I call making good use of your paper. So there we have the card, and there we have the envelope. And I love this. So I made another one using the silver paper. So let me just clear some of this away so that we can see a little better. So I made much the same card with the silver paper, only I put this in the background and used white here and just stuck with some words. You know, you can stamp here. It's just like a card front, so you can do whatever you want. You can stamp, you can images, you can make a hippo card, you can do whatever you want. And then this on the inside. So when you have it flat, it goes like that. And then I just used a little piece of the designer paper there. And I have the coordinating envelope, just like that. I also did it in very vanilla using the, oh goodness, I know this. It's Abigail Rose paper. And then I put lots of the Forever Greenery dies and some ribbon. I cut our brown suede ribbon in half and did that and embossed here. And this die is from the Seasonal Labels dies. And then I thought, oh, it looks a little boring. So in this one, I actually used an embossing folder here and then added this panel and cut that from the Hues of Happiness, the die that goes with the Hues of Happiness. So there are 3 variations of that card. So I thought that just might give your brain, you know, it might just be percolating ideas there. Now, I have shown you this before. This is the same designer paper as this, but it's colored, and it's colored by just sponging color on. But I was looking at this card and I thought, I could actually adapt this to make this fun fold if I wanted, right? So that's just a possibility. And notice this die is from the same set, and I just cut this die apart and put this in the middle so that nobody can see that it's cut apart. So you can fancy these up or keep them plain. Here's pretty plain. Here's lots of fancy. So you can do all kinds of things with that. So I hope that you either created along with me or you're inspired to create, and that you are going to share what you create in the pictures and in the comments below. I hope that you do that because it inspires the rest of us, and we would love to see that. My computer shut down on me. There we go. All right, I have a few things to share with you. One is, this is the card we made last week, and I added the color to the gnome. And so anybody who leaves a comment, either in real time or in the replay on Facebook or YouTube, your name goes into a draw. And Deborah, your name has been drawn. So if you let me know your address, I'll pop this in the mail to you. And let's just share a few things. I have lots of new cards to share. I'm going to space them out a little bit. So one is a card that I received from Kathy House, and this is Stepping Stones. This is from the Annual Catalogue. So an obstacle is often a stepping stone. I love that quote, and I love how she's used this in the background. And look at this vellum that she's used here. So lots of fun techniques there. And then this is one of the new punches in the Annual Catalogue. So there is one. This one here in the, where did I put it? Here it is. In the mini catalog, there is, now let me just see. Don't you love the index? It helps me find stuff so quickly as I don't find something here. There it is. So the page 46. Page 46, this bundle here, I absolutely fell in love with the die for this right away, but I thought, oh, the bundle's okay. I do like the fonts on the words, that kind of thing, but I received 2 cards in a swap, so it's called the Perched in a Tree bundle, and one was from Karen Yeomans, who's watching tonight, so thank you, Karen. I love how she's made this card, and you say, okay, that's a nice card, but look at, it's a fun fold. It goes like that. Isn't that neat? So there we go. So it would stand up beautifully. Where would you write your message? On the back. So I love this combination of colors. I love what she's done there. And then I received another one in a swap. And this is totally different colors. So this has a very autumn feel to it. So this one does not have to be a Christmas one. There are several stamps and bundles in the mini catalog that are not specific for Christmas. They are all different seasons. So you can see that she's stamped some images in the backgrounds. I call them splotches, but whatever. And it looks like the leaf dies, they actually emboss as well, right? And look at the coloring. So another gorgeous card using that set there. Then there's the stamp set, this one here. And I just love what this person's done with this. I just received this in the mail today. And then it's sort of a fun fold in that it's a bridge here. So the words are on the inside, but they show up on the outside too. So I really like that. And this, let me just cover up her address here, came in one of our clear envelopes. As long as you put an address label on and your stamp on the outside of the envelope, remember you can use clear envelopes and they really are fun to get in the mail. And then I received this from Marilyn. So I love how she's done this. The jars, I just love everything about this card. So Marilyn, thank you so much for that. And this one is in the annual catalog. So those are some of the things I wanted to share with you tonight. And I also wanted to share that in tomorrow's newsletter, my newsletter tomorrow, I have a free tutorial. So if you are watching and you have not signed up for my newsletter, I'll put the link, so you just need to click it in the description here. But this is, just do make sure that you sign up for my newsletter. You get extra special things there, you know. And the other thing was, what else? There was something else I was going to tell you, and I can't remember what it was. But if you are shopping from my online store, this is where you would go, and this is the hostess code. Oh, I know what I was going to share. What I used in tonight's card, I used the Art Gallery stamp set. That was $30. I used the Floral Gallery dies. That was $47. So the total in merchandise would be $77. Those two things would get me a level 1 celebration set. So I could get that paper if I ordered those two things. But I have a question for you. If you are putting together an order, especially I find during celebration, and you are just getting really close to either the $60 level or the $120 level, what is one small thing that you add to your orders just to get it up to that level? Often for me, I add dimensionals because I use lots of dimensionals. I can never have too many. Or I might add envelopes depending on my supply. The other thing I add often is the glue. But what's one thing that you add to your orders if they need just a little boost to make it to a certain number? Maybe you're part of a stamp club and you need to make it to say the $35 number, or again, whatever. Or maybe you're a demonstrator and you're trying to reach a certain number. So multi-purpose glue, yes, I agree, Catherine. This is often on it, and it's like $5.50 or something. Bling or ribbon, yep, Judy, perfect. That same here. The other thing is linen thread, because I go through linen thread like crazy. So I often add that as well. So just in talking about that reminded me that I had planned to talk to you not only about the things that are available in celebration, but the back of the book. So on page 16 and farther. So if you gather together orders that so that you have like a party, and they are $375 or more, you earn, over and above your Stampin' rewards, you earn this free stamp set, and I've seen wonderful things done with it. So there's a little extra bonus if you gather extra orders. Or if you have a long wish list, I would suggest joining. Stampin' Up doesn't make you commit to anything. It's totally up to you what you do with it, whether you want to do it as a business or not. But the starter kit is only $135, but you get $165 worth of product of your choice. Used to be they told you what you were getting, but it's of your choice. And no shipping and handling, no GST, and during celebration, you get this Making Plans collection. And what this is it's a fabulous planner, so pretty, with all kinds of pages and inserts and ways to embellish. You get these 3 notebooks, and then you also get this stamp set. So this is over and above. You get all of this just for joining. So if you've got a long wish list, this is something to consider. So I think that's pretty much it for tonight. So remember, when you make your cards, please share them. We'd love to see them. And I hope this inspired you to do a little crafting on one of these warm summer days. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.